Welcome back, True Seeker. Thursday, January 15th, 2026. Just want to let everybody know Christian White, who interviewed me on the 13th, he's got the interview up. It looks like he put it up late last night. Thank you to everyone who's gone over there and given him a sub, given the video a comment and a like. Doesn't look like it's doing real great with the views. And looking at his channel, months ago, he was doing a lot better with views. I'm thinking that for interviewing people that are putting out important information in the world, he's also being suppressed. Because if you look at the way his channel's gone, again, his biggest views were about 6 months ago and not nearly as many views with his more recent uploads. So thank you to everyone who goes over there and helps try and solve that problem by, again, giving a view, a like, a share, a comment. And I do appreciate that he introduced this knowledge to his community. There's not a whole lot of people over the years that have reached out and wanted to talk or share about this. That said, lots to talk about today. I talked about how Minneapolis is PSYOP town and why the PSYOPs are happening so frequently there that are becoming so major. We've always talked about why Wednesdays are the day of the week for shootings. And now we have another one. We have another Wednesday shooting in Minneapolis. And I mentioned this last week. Look out for January 14th, 114, for this exact reason. Minneapolis, Minnesota equals 114, like psychological operation. So on 114, January 14th, the Wednesday, ICE shoot a Venezuelan, which fits in with the numerous other PSYOPs and what happened in Portland, Oregon last week, the day after the shooting on Portland Avenue, where a Venezuelan married couple were shot. So we'll talk more about this, but it's annoying. I mean, you would think that the people that come by here and denounce this, they might listen to a few things and they're like, well, wait a minute, it's a Wednesday again. He just talked about how important 114 was to Minneapolis, and now it's another Wednesday Minneapolis shooting on 114. Man, maybe he's making a point. We talked about the NASA Crew-11 thing yesterday. I want to go over it a little bit more. We talked about to look out for 26 this year. Yesterday, we were talking about how the news was very themed with 26. Yesterday was the day leaving 351 days left in the year, the 26th triangular number. The news was full of 26 stories, including the State Department, aka the CIA, saying a guy with the 26 name gematria who was 26 years old was going to be executed by Iran for being a protester. Story that really didn't make any sense because they said they're killing people all over the streets for the protest while showing you no evidence that that's happening. And then saying that this guy, they went and pulled him out of his house. Again, why don't the other supposed hundreds of people, why don't their names get mentioned or their ages? Again, because it's all psychological operations, and every last one of these PSYOPs is a number. But today, the follow-up day, today has a life lesson number of 26. And notice 26 players in college basketball charged by the FBI with point shaving. Again, this kind of stuff's a joke, you guys. I just want to show you, we had a real nice day yesterday taking advantage of the world of rig sports, and I want to show you two major upsets that happened in college basketball and just how simple it was. And just understand, this stuff goes on every single day. All of these games are rigged, you guys. All of them are rigged. So for the FBI to act like, oh, this group of 26 guys in 2026 for point shaving, it's laughable. But we had two big upsets yesterday in college basketball. North Carolina got beat by Stanford, and I want you to see this. Do you see how North Carolina fell to 14-3? Big upset. And we'll talk about why it matters that yesterday's game was 34 days before Jordan's birthday. But Ole Miss, who was an even bigger underdog, they upset Georgia, and Georgia became 14-3. So we had both of these things circled as potential major upsets yesterday. Again, we're always looking for how to turn $1 into $100, and you need big upset games like this to do it. And they do happen every day. You just got to find them. But both these teams get upset and become 14-3 on a Wednesday. These are yesterday's games. Wednesday, 143. Congrats to the winners. We already have an NBA game over today. We're already 1-0 for the day. Magic, the Orlando Magic, are the team full of German players. And they had the first ever game in Germany today. Today's also MLK's birthday, right? Who assumed the name Martin Luther after the Protestant Reformation leader who was from Germany, Martin Luther. Of course, MLK was killed in Memphis. So I just wanted to see how Memphis and Germany overlap. Do you see this? How the first ever game in Germany, how they have one team play there that has the exact same gematria as Germany. And notice Orlando's not far off. Orlando's got the 34 and 38 like Germany. But the reason we like the Magic to win today is because, again, they have the German players, and these teams also play back-to-back. You see how one picked up the 23rd win and the other picked up the 23rd loss? If Memphis loses the next game, since they're playing back-to-back, they're going to get their 24th loss, and their coach is also going to get his 33rd career loss. So, again, this is just what we do day after day, and that's why the trolls follow us around and post all this misleading information in every comment section of every place I go. Again, if you ever see anybody in the comments say that if you follow my work, you will lose at sports, they are deliberately lying by 1,000,000%. Again, if you're smart with this knowledge, it's really hard to lose, actually. And there's a lot of people that have been winning the whole 13 years we've been here doing this, nailing games day by day, futures like nobody's business. And again, it's not just that, it's that we're proving how and why it is scripted. Again, all of these leagues are based in masonry. Masonry is based in Kabbalah, where the whole thing of letters and numbers comes from. But yeah, every day the games are rigged, college and pro. And I just made the point about how Wednesday has the 143, right? Those two big upsets. And by the way, you see how Tar Heels is 34 and so is Stanford? Yesterday's game was 34 days before Jordan's birthday. Hold on, what was the score of that Stanford game yesterday? Let me double check that real quick. What was the score of that game? Oh, it was a hair off. It was a hair off. But yeah, I mean, you know, my local university up here, Seattle, falls to 10-7. It's just comical stuff, you know. University of Washington in Seattle, they fall to 10-7. No surprises there, but anyway. Yeah, I do get tired, and it's annoying how much more energy is put into the trolling and disinformation around my work. I know typical people, you know, they're busy with their own life, but there's just so much more energy and dedication from the trolls. And that's likely because a lot of my trolls, it is their job to troll me every day. People are literally paid in this world to troll me. By the way, I got to call somebody out. He's been a great ally of the community for a long time, but I guess he's been slandering me online. A couple Sundays ago, sorry, you guys, it just has to be addressed. I hate to do the drama thing. And we have a lot of, actually, let me tell you what other stories are coming up, and then I just do have to address something. It really is sad. But, yeah, again, we'll get more to this 26 college basketball players charged by the FBI on the 26 date numerology for point shaving. It's such a joke. We'll get to the ACLU suing today on the 26 date numerology, suing Minnesota and the city of Minneapolis on the federal level for what's going on. Keep in mind, it's MLK's birthday, and MLK is deeply intertwined with the ACLU. And please don't be the person to say, no, MLK's birthday is on Monday. That's what day the holiday is. His birthday is today. Today, he would have been 97 years old. We're going to talk about Jesuit-educated Maria Machado, whose full name equals 115, being at the White House on January 15th. It's very similar to the Florida Panthers being at the White House today, who also have the 115 connection. Again, it's just all of my haters, you see what they do is they just try to slander my name, lie about me, but they never address the information putting out that lines up every single day. Have I not been here for over a decade showing how every single time a sports team from a pro league goes to the White House to be congratulated for a championship, it's a perfect number ritual every single time? Because I have. Again, you got the Jesuit-educated one, Miss 115 at the White House on 115, as we write in the U.S., with the hockey team that just won the championship down in Florida, where Trump spends half his days golfing. I was getting sick and tired of people saying, Trump doesn't even accept the presidential salary. Do you know how much the Secret Service cost every time he goes golfing? God, are you guys serious that this guy cares about saving money? Please. This guy's racking up bills for us every day. Meanwhile, yours truly works his ass off every day. Hasn't had the time to go golfing once in the last 13 years. I worked so hard. But anyway, we'll talk about John Harbaugh going to the Giants. Of course, the Giants lost to the Ravens in the Super Bowl right before 9/11. Now Harbaugh goes from the Ravens to the Giants by the numbers. Chicago Bears having a banner year. And a celebrity in Chicago is dead at 55, like Chicago Bears. The article written about her by the local Chicago Sun-Times chooses a picture of her from the 106th day of the year during the 106th NFL season, where how many sacrifices have been made by this 106 code? First, it was Jim Irsay, 106 days before the season began. Then the day of the opener, it was Mr. Armani. Armani equals 106. who symbols the eagle, the day the Eagles opened the season with the win, getting their 106th home win versus the NFC East, and on and on and on. But yeah, here's the one thing I have to address. So the other Sunday, somebody who's been around the community for a long time, they were just blowing up my phone all day. And I saw what they were texting me. And, I'm super busy with the family. And Sunday's the day we're running errands. And I could tell they were just getting stressed out through the text messages. I really need to talk to you about this, how reverse reduction gematria is a false cipher. And Derek has been manipulating us the whole time. And they tricked you too. And I texted back, I said, it's not a false cipher. I mean, it's in the Secret Teachings of All Ages. If you read the book, it's just running the alphabetic order in reverse with numerology. So again, for anyone who doesn't know, again, the four base ciphers, let's go over them one more time. So the cipher that they were saying was false was reverse reduction. I said, it doesn't make sense it's false, because if it's false, then the reduction cipher is also false, because they're the exact same thing, just the inverse of each other. The alphabetic order, A is 1 up to Z is 26 with numerology. The reverse alphabetic order with numerology is the cipher they're saying is false. Again, there's no logic to what they were saying, but because I respect the person, I was trying to entertain their thoughts. And the thing was, I was listening to them explain it, and it wasn't making any sense. They were saying it's impossible for all of these letters to have the same numerical value multiple times. I said, no, it's not impossible. It's numerology. So that's why you're breaking it down to 1 through 9, 1 through 9, 1 through 9. I mean, that's the way the cipher works. So they were getting really frustrated, and they said, you must just not understand math. And I thought, this is really weird that this person's been hanging around for, I don't know, quite a while now. I mean, probably close to 10 years. But the thing is, they've been hanging around, but they've never ever... See, I'm starting to realize the people that have hung around and turned into trolls, they've never, contributed one time to a Gematria decode. Oftentimes, when they would send super chats, it would be some message that didn't really make any sense. And here's actually the real reason I'm bringing this up. Because in the conversation, they told me the other year, he got together with some other people in the community that have turned into trolls. And he said at that gathering, people there were offered money to sell me out, and he didn't take the money. So he also wanted to reveal this to me in the conversation. If anybody remembers young Ben, who used to be a great contributor, him and Chigozi and a few other ones, they got together and they were real disappointed that I didn't come, but I didn't have time to go to Pennsylvania. So anyway, he was revealing to me that he was there and they took money, and that's why they sold me out. And I don't know if any of this is true. But anyway, it was going on a Sunday, and I'm already tired, and I just wanted to get back to my family, and it's like the one day of the week. But then when I was telling him that I need to get off, he was getting frustrated. He was like, how do you not see that this is a false cipher? And I was just like, I don't know. I mean, if it's a false cipher, then so is reduction. I said, I don't get your argument. I mean, it's the alphabetic order with numerology applied. He goes, how can I and R have the same? I was just like, I don't know how you're coming up with these questions after 10 years. I mean, I don't know how many ways I can explain it to. And then he kept going, you don't get math. So anyway, I just said, sorry, man, I got to get off. I got to get back to my family. And he was all annoyed. And then next thing I know, Kayla Decode Talkers texted me and going, and sorry, Kayla, I kind of lied to Kayla when she texted me because I just didn't want to talk about the drama. She's like, do you know why this person's spamming online that you're some kind of fraud shill? And I was like, oh, I have no idea what's going on. Because I just didn't want to talk about it. I was like, oh, great. So now that's what they did. They went online and they're spamming everybody that I'm a fraud shill because I don't agree that the reverse cipher is false as it plays for us day after day in sports. I mean, anyway, it's annoying. And here's the other thing. That person, when I went out to Buffalo, when I went out to Buffalo, I paid for two people's hotels, and it cost a fortune because when I planned the Buffalo trip, I did it days in advance, got a better rate. And the guy who did this, I paid for his hotel, and the other girl, I don't want to talk about her either. And she was just the worst because it was like she was there to delay and distract me every day. But yeah, it's just so obvious that these people, I don't know where they come from or who employs them to do this, but it's just so obvious. And then it almost makes me mad that I even spent $1 on these people's hotels because it was quite expensive. But I just realized they were never really here for the good of anything. It's some kind of I don't know what it is to have these people hang around and then do stuff like this eventually, but it is just super annoying. And the one thing, I haven't actually named this person yet because I don't know. I don't want to add to the drama. You might know who I'm talking about. But you know how Cuts is this paid for troll too that for the last 3 years has been trolling every day and making all these really weird videos and figuring out where my wife works and calling and harassing her at her workplace? For months now, he's kept bringing up this person's name. He's like, just wait, they're going to have a fallout pretty soon. And I was like, why does he keep saying that? Why does he keep saying that? And now I'm like, I see, because they must all be on the same thing together. It is really weird how they operate, though. Anyway, let's get back to the business. So again, I said in light of this 114 thing, we better look out for 114 upcoming, and here we are on 114. A Wednesday, we get another ICE agent shooting in Minneapolis. And again, look at the gematria, forwards and backwards. Again, according to the one guy, the reverse reduction cipher is false because I don't know math. But again, it's not false. Remember, we were talking about this before they put out the details that Renee Nicole Good was 37 years old. And again, right after the shooting on Portland Avenue, and I point out right away, oh, Portland, that's where the longest George Floyd protest was. And then the next day, you got a Portland, Oregon shooting, ICE agent shooting a Venezuelan married couple. Now it's this Wednesday, and we have another Venezuelan shot, which fits in with the other psyop of what we're doing down in Venezuela. And again, Venezuelan equals 44. I think I saw a comment that somebody said migrant fit. Yeah, look at that. Migrant 30. Look at that. It's got the 107 too, like shooting. So some headlines just say a migrant was shot. So, okay, I see what they did. Migrant, Venezuelan. Okay, it all fits. And yeah, like I said, Minneapolis, Minnesota, PSYOP town, 114. Here we go, another psychological operation. There's this language of it was a targeted traffic stop. Here, just so you can see this too. Targeted traffic stop, 111. Look at Minneapolis, Minnesota. Or hold on. I'm tripping on that one. Never mind. That was early morning, too tired. It's psychological operation. That's what I meant to type in. Targeted traffic stop 111, psychological operation 111. Same cipher. Okay. And I mean, we were pointing out this pattern actually way back when I wrote Number Games. Remember when they told us that Derek Chauvin and George Floyd were bodyguards at the same restaurant in Minneapolis, and they had to show you the Corona in the background when Corona was going on, and I Can't Breathe tied in with people who got Corona, as well as the Black Lives Matter motto. So again, it's been the same thing all along. And remember what I showed you last week? They were having the protest outside the Bishop Henry Whipple Federal Building on the day, leaving 357 days left in the year when the building equals 357. And like I pointed out that day, it was 38 days from his birthday anniversary, like Minnesota. And the whole Kristi Noem thing, it went down 38 days after Kristi Noem's birthday. And this was shortly after the Nick Shirley viral video that came out exactly 38 weeks after his birthday, where it was revealed that it was coordinated with the Republican Party in Minnesota, and clearly the federal Republican Party too, with J.D. Vance and Elon Musk hyping that video. That video now has over 500 million views. What's funny is, have you guys noticed that in recent days, what the new viral topic is, can you believe how dumb Nick Shirley is after his Channel 5 interview? If you guys have missed that, that's the viral sensation right now. Everyone in disbelief about how dumb he is because he totally embarrassed himself. And who's been telling you since forever that Nick Shirley is dumb as a box of rocks? He is literally so dumb, you guys, it's unbelievable. He really is on the level of a Special Olympian. And a lot of people see that now after the interview, but it's like people are surprised. It's like, I mean, Nick Shirley, he's had a pretty big growing channel for some time, way before this Minnesota thing. And I've just always been shocked at the way people, I guess Nick Shirley's a testament to how dumb the average American is. Again, you go to all the best paying jobs in the U.S., no Americans work there because this is a pretty dumb nation. Nick Shirley is dumb as rocks. And it's the same reason this work doesn't vibe with most American people, but they'll watch Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley is so dumb, it really is unbelievable. And I knew that just from playing his streams in the background as he walks across America interviewing people on the streets. Just the conversations he has, and the people are surprised he didn't know what the word benevolent mean. He there's words much simpler than benevolent that he doesn't know what they mean. He might not know what the word sarcasm means, for example. There's just I can't even imitate it, but so many times I'll be having a conversation and somebody will say something to him and be like, what does that mean? And I'm like, he doesn't know what that means? How does he not? How old is he? What? I mean, you would expect elementary age school students to know some of the things that Nick Shirley doesn't know. He is dumb. I mean, so dumb. It's unbelievable. But in his interview, if you guys don't know about this, he did an interview for Channel 5, pretty viral YouTube channel, and just made himself look like a total moron. But that's what he does pretty much every day of the week if you watch him. And just like I said, when somebody came up to him and said, hey, are you a racist against black women like Charlie Kirk? I mean, if you're on the street and somebody comes up to you and asks you that, even if you are racist, you'd probably just say no. What does Nick Shirley say back? He goes, look at that black woman over there with like a disgust. So I was like, oh, so you don't like black women. Wow. I mean, it's like, I guess you're honest, but it's not something an intelligent person would do. You know what I mean? It's like he's so dumb. He's not even like zero self-awareness. There was a stream where I forget what American city he was, but something he likes to do on his streams is jump off bridges into rivers. And these people are all telling me, he said, do not jump into this river. Our river is so toxic. There's so many things that dump into there. And his mom was with him like normal. And she's like, Nick, I really don't think you should do it this time. Everyone's telling you how bad this river is and how polluted it is. And Nick's like, I gotta do it, Ma. he jumps in. And I mean, it's not an intelligent decision. Everybody's telling you how toxic the river is, and you're gonna jump in anyway. Again, I mean, the guy is literally retarded, and that is the only way to put it. And again, like I've always said about the Republican Party, I mean, the super rich people like to vote for the Republicans because it usually saves them more in their tax money. But the majority of people who vote for the Republican Party are really dumb people. It's like if you go to the trailer park where usually not the brightest people live, they're all voting Republican and voting against their own interests for the most part too. Because the Republicans are really good at talking tax cuts, but their tax cuts really are for the super rich, and then they might give you a little dime here and there, but then what it does is it raises the state's tax burden because now they don't have the money because the billionaires aren't paying. So you got to make up for it with higher property taxes and sales taxes and taxes on everything else. I know the dummies don't get any of this, like the Nick Shirley types, but that really is the way it works. Anyway, I told you the whole Nick Shirley thing was a 38 psyop. We're going to get to, oh yeah, in this case, they said it was a shovel attack. The latest shooting in Minnesota on 114 was because of a shovel attack. Oh, I wonder where they made that shit up with. Shovel attack 38, like Minnesota, like Renee Good. So again, don't George Floyd on the corner of 38th Street. Imagine it being us, you guys. Imagine it being us, the people who've been calling this shit out, writing books about not to get the clot shot and how they're going to wind down their scam as soon as the year of the tiger comes around. Imagine being us doing this next level brilliant research, life-saving shit, and the average American doesn't care because they're too fucking dumb. But then they'll watch a retard like Nick Shirley because that's who they resonate with because they're retarded. That's why my rant is always about, I wish this was Tool's song. It does mean that even if you're retarded, you can probably still learn some Spanish. He did that on his mission, wearing his magical underwear. Anyway, let's see. Oh yeah, I forgot to make the point. When they had this psyop outside the building, the Bishop Henry Whipple Federal Building, and remember what I told you this was about last week when we covered this. This man is known in history for stopping the feds from killing natives. And now this is the building that ICE rounds up people and takes them to. You see the irony in that? They love their irony in their stories as well. But I was also pointing out that the day of the protest was 114 days after his death anniversary. We were talking about this a week ago. And now here we are a week later, and it's the same numbers. 114 days after his death anniversary. The focus was on that building that day. And now, boom, on 114, because of the shovel attack, a Venezuelan has been shot again on a Wednesday. Imagine that our country wasn't so stupid. Imagine they weren't so dumb. Wouldn't we have already saved this country by now? Wouldn't this research and all this effort for going on 13 years straight wouldn't have saved the country by now? I'm pretty sure it would have. Pretty sure it definitely would have. And then you got all these losers, like literally degenerate losers, like career criminals who have no life that seemingly are part of some government troll operation program. Again, this is why we need to stop paying taxes, you guys. How much do you want to bet that if we get down to the bottom of it, we'd figure out that all these trolls, all these years that have harassed me and now my wife and just sit around and spam all day, how much do you want to bet they're being paid for by U.S. tax dollars off the black budget? I can almost guarantee they are. Do you guys remember when Cutts stabbed a guy about a year back and the crime report was written out that he stabbed him at 747? Cutts never did a day in jail for stabbing somebody? Like, what the hell's going on? 747, he stabbed somebody on the police report, and stabbing equals 74? The Ides of March, remember the stat? It's like, what is going on with these trolls around here? It is annoying. Anyway, this Crew-11 thing, like I said, Apollo 11 was the moon mission. Elon Musk with SpaceX. Remember, Elon Musk is nothing but a puppet invented by the SS Nazi Werner von Braun in the book Project Mars. Again, we covered that, and I got my X account deleted for covering his little SS salute on Inauguration Day last year. But remember, Apollo, actually, let me pull up Elon Musk Nazi salute because it just fits in perfectly with everything they've done here. All of this stuff is 100% connected. And don't forget, Werner von Braun's wife died the day that Elon Musk gave the salute, but they saved the news until the 38th day of the year, February 7th, like death, murder, killing, RIP in Germany all equal 38. But here, let's pull this up because, again, we need to understand how all of this fits together. So when Musk gave his little salute, again, it was, the Sig Heil, which equals 47. And please don't be the next right-wing loser that's like, nuh-uh, because the thumb was a little bit different. It's actually just the Roman salute. Listen, look at all the neo-Nazi skinheads on the streets of America doing it the exact same way. Oh, no, it wasn't a Nazi. You guys are morons, okay? Yeah, it was a Nazi thing. And Elon Musk is also retarded, for the record. Everybody should have seen that when he came out in his I'm dark mega hat, and he hopped 1 millimeter off the stage and muttered a bunch of words that didn't make any sense, like a total retard, sounding even worse than Nick Shirley. Not to mention he promoted Nick Shirley's video. But anyway, Elon Musk is another puppet invented by a Nazi. Another thing invented by Nazis, the word apophenia, where people will come here and go, oh, this is apophenia, just connecting numbers to patterns because you think there's something there. I think there's something there. I'm proving every single day there's something there. But again, this was for the inauguration number 47, the Sig Heil 47, like fascism, like that word's everywhere, when really it's always been here. Again, fascism's the merger of the state and the corporation, which is what America is. No, fascism's when the government's out just like shooting people in the street that go against the government. That's another level of fascism, and that's where America's going to go to. Hey, it's kind of already going there right in front of your face under this administration, isn't it? At least that's what they're showing you in their psyops. But remember, their psyops can eventually become reality, too. Anyway, right-wing, Mein Kampf, fascism, Sig Heil, it's all 47. It's 47 years from when Wernher von Braun died, when Musk did that salute. 47 years and change. Don't forget the June 16th either, because the mission yesterday was 166 days. Like, that date can be written 16/6. But yes, from Musk's birthday to his little salute, again, Wernher von Braun was a Nazi, was the 207th day of Musk's age. And Wernher von Braun equals 207. And again, Wernher von Braun was the most instrumental scientist in the moon landing, which happened on the 20th day of the 7th month, the 20th of July. And on top of that, remember, this thing had been going on with Trump and Mein Kampf for some time. They were talking about this during his first administration, so it's all part of the same joke. Notice the book that invented the Elon by Wernher von Braun, Project Mars, has the same gematria as Donald Trump in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. And the ritual happened 159 days before Elon Musk's birthday when he gave the salute. And again, January 20th is the 201st day of the U.S.'s age when you measure from July 4th. 201, big number with the Jesuits, big number with small mustache guy. And don't forget, the moon landing, July 20th, that's the 201st day of the year. It was also, in 1969, 24 years to the day of Project Paperclip, where we began bringing the SS scientists to America, and a lot of them were instrumental in NASA. Notice how the word Nazi equals 58. NASA was established in 58. These things are not an accident. This is what they've been doing. And I've been saying it since I was 18 years old when 9/11 happened. That's when I finally saw it. I said, this nation is Nazis. We are Nazis. And that will piss people off, and it always has. Even when I said it, that's why people wanted to fight me back then at Arizona State, because I was saying things just like that back then. This nation is a bunch of Nazis. People can't see it, though, because they have their Disney World glasses on, where they've been programmed their whole life that we're the good guys and we're taking out all the bad guys, which isn't true. We're making up stories of bad guys and villains, and we're invading other countries and killing innocent people and ruining their lives and bombing their weddings and their churches and their everything. How many stories did we get that we blew up a wedding after 9/11 for the 20 years that war went on that was supposed to last a month? How many times was there a story? And maybe you don't know the answer because you don't pay attention. But if you are someone like me who pays attention to the news trying to figure out what the hell's actually going on, you notice it all the time. It's like, God, we bombed another wedding by accident again? Why the hell are we always bombing weddings? What is this about? This is evil. Imagine, you have to think about being in those cultures. Your wedding, it's supposed to be the happiest day of your life. You're living in that culture and you're thinking about getting married. Is my wedding going to get bombed next? Am I going to die at my wedding? Again, you guys, America put a yellow ribbon on the back of their car and cheered for an invasion of a part of the world that had nothing to do with those towers coming down. That was all us. You know who else burned up their own buildings to invade other people? Nazis. And by the way, watch this. Who was the guy blamed for the Reichstag fire? Check this out. I can't pronounce the name. Marinus van der Lubbe, maybe. Marinus van der Lubbe. Check out the gematria on his name. 201. So remind you, 2 towers become 0 before they become 1. By the way, this movie that won a bunch of awards, is it called One Battle After Another? Is that what it's called? One Battle After Another. Do I got that right? Yeah, I do. So I was watching this loosely last night and missing a lot of it because I was tending to family stuff, but I just had it running on the TV in the background. And I might have to go back and watch it more carefully, but okay. It's fitting for the times, right? Because it's about like a revolutionary group within the U.S. that doesn't like this fascist government that's rounding up Mexicans and putting them in camps. So what they do is they go and like take out the feds or the ICE agents and they free the Mexicans. So, you know, it's a political movie for the times. But then they're also doing other crazy stuff too, right? They're robbing banks and they're doing that in the name of getting funds for the movement. So I guess in a way, I mean, hey, going after the state and the bankers, I guess that would be exactly what you should do as some revolutionaries. But the point is, they're called the French 75, right? The French 75. And I was listening to this whole time. I was like, this got to be some Jesuit joke. And then Benicio del Toro's character signals exactly what the joke is. Do you see this 75 up here? Remember, the Nazis talked about a New World Order too. New World Order 75. Remember, October 6th, 1940, New York Times. They had the headline. Everyone can look it up. Watch this. It's funny what Google does too. Watch this. New York Times. Let me see if Google fixed this. New York Times. Watch this. Oh, they fixed it. They took it away. I think I showed it in a stream like a few months back. They used to have their AI blurb come up and say, there's no such thing. This is a conspiracy theory by anti-Semites. It's like, no, it's an actual headline from October 6, 1940, a date with 75 numerology. The point is New World Order 75, and this was published on 75 date numerology. But don't forget who the 75 gang is. Again, Roman Catholic is 75, just like Catholic Church is 75. And don't forget the word order alone is 75. Don't forget who told you a major war was going to start in Israel when it was 75 years old, about a decade in advance, which was true because when that war began in 2023, Israel was 75 years old. And anyway, so in this movie, the French 75, remember the Jesuits are from France. There's a scene later in the movie where Benicio del Toro drops the line because he's in the room with Leonardo DiCaprio, but Leonardo DiCaprio is being asked the password, and the password is, what time is it? And he's been out of the movement for so long that he cannot remember what the answer is to what time is it. So Benicio del Toro, who's in the room, looks at the clock and he goes, 8:15? I'm just like, come on, man. Again, nobody's going to get these jokes unless they know what time it is. August 15th, 8:15, the Jesuit Order's birthday. The New World Order is the Jesuit Order. Founded August 15th in Paris, France, way back in 1534. And don't forget, New World Order does have the same gematria as the Jesuit Order. We'll come back to that with Maria Machado, the Jesuit at the White House today with Jesuit Trump. But New World Order 177 and 69, just like the Jesuit Order, 177 and 69. See that? How they both got those numbers, forwards and backwards, they're reflections of each other. Okay. So, I'm sure that movie's full of it too, because I probably missed at least 50% of the movie last night, but I caught that. Okay, I am pretty tangential today. Let me see. Yeah, here was just the point about how January 20th, the 201st day of the nation's age, again, the Jesuits established D.C. and moved the capital there and moved Inauguration Day to the 201st day because it's their number. So yeah, there are a few other things here. But anyway, the point is these numbers, right? These numbers that relate to the moon landing, that relate to the Jesuits, to the history of bringing the Nazis here, the Nazis who invented this little guy who does the Nazi salute on Inauguration Day with Donald Trump, who's been compared to a Nazi. As people say, this administration looks like the Gestapo. And see all the right-wing retards. And again, you guys, I don't like either wing, but I have noticed for all my life, the more retarded people do tend to lean right. Oftentimes, the left is very well educated, but super indoctrinated and very close-minded. I mean, that's the trade-off. You're more likely to meet right-wingers who are open-minded to conspiratorial stuff, but you notice some people in the conspiracy realm are kind of really dumb, too. That's why they believe in certain stuff that's total loads of shit. So, anyway, it is a weird thing with the right and the left, but yeah, no doubt about it. You're talking about a lower intellect on average on the right by a long shot. And anyway, yesterday, Crew-11, again, Apollo 11, the moon landing on the 201st day. Now, Crew-11 has to come back after a medical emergency 201 days after Musk's birthday. They say they touched down early this morning, Thursday, January 15th, after leaving the ISS. It's got an SS in it on January 14th. And notice, it began on August 1st, and the medical emergency was announced on January 8th. So the dates that can be written 8-1 and 1-8, August 1st, January 8th. The medical emergency was announced January 8th. Haven't we always said this a million times? Ritual equals 81 forwards and backwards. We call it the ritual number, the 8-1 thing. IHS, the acronym for the Jesuits in their logo, 18 forwards and backwards, like their logo's the sun. The point is, all of this stuff is signature for who is really behind these stories. I noticed this part down here, COSPAR ID 2025-166A. Keep that in mind because the mission lasted 166 days. Werner von Braun's birthday is the 16th of June, 16/6. Plus 16 hours like the Jesuits since the 16th century, plus 57 minutes like Rome equals 57, like Scottish Rite equals 57, like Moon equals 57, like Mars equals 57, like this year is going to be 57 years since the moon landing. And at 115 too, just about that Masonic history with NASA. Almost every astronaut has been a Mason. Masonic 115, touching down on 115. So, yeah. What else is new? And again, what's the budget now? The last time we checked what the budget was for NASA, it was over $68 million a day. That was what, a year or two ago that we were getting those figures. I wonder if we can get some updated figures. How much is NASA's budget per day in 2026? All right, it looks like it's still about the same. It says 67 to 68.2 million per day. So about a year back or so, whenever we last checked, it was at 68 million a day, and we know where that 68 number comes in. So big CIA number, like the words in the CIA's logo equal 201, like their motto, the work of a nation, the center of intelligence equals 201, like how it was founded on the 201st day of the Pope's age. CIA, mind control. Again, one of the greatest things in the minds of the masses is that we were the first to go to the moon. This great accomplishment that very likely never happened, but it's used as a justification to thieve 68 million per day from taxpayers. You guys comprehend that 68 million a day, a day. Again, there's so many communities. My great grandmother, I never got to, well, I did get to meet my great grandmother. All I can remember about her is she would cheat at Go Fish. If she lost, she would just cheat. She couldn't even let me win as a 5-year-old. But my mom would always bring up how she really hated this idea that we were spending all this money on going to space. She'd always say, there's so many people on this world that just need some help, and I don't ever see them get help, but we're spending money to leave this earth. Doesn't even make any sense to me. And people be like, well, we got to get out there for scientific advancement. It's like, what about priorities? Again, imagine your neighbor starving across the street. You could help them out, but you're like, you know what? I really want to get this rocket up there. I'm going to spend all my money and not help those people out over there. Because I mean, the reality is, if you don't help those people, what do we do? What do people do when they're desperate? Don't they like resort to crime and rob their neighbors and create problems? But see, that's just it right there. The government needs problems. If they don't have problems, how do they justify their big expenditures for police and military and cameras and surveillance? They need the problems. Again, guys, this whole thing is just a giant, well orchestrated and calculated racket. But yeah, for all of us who pay way too much in taxes, this is the kind of stuff our money goes to. A nice little Crew-11 ritual for a tribute to Apollo 11, as Bill Gates and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all these kind of guys just get so much money from the taxpayers. This guy's talking about Somali fraud. This guy gets more money from taxpayers per year than the entire Somali community. Think about that. This guy, this retard, another retard that they've propped up as some genius. Just like, it's not as bad as the retard in the wheelchair that talked about black holes. And again, for anyone who's never seen that, go back and watch the documentary. I always forget his name. I always confuse it with, is it Stephen Hawking? Stephen Hawking, is that who I'm talking about? The retard in the wheelchair that could hit one button and crank out 1,000-page books overnight? Like, literally like that. Go back and watch old footage when they interview him. He's talking like that to people. And then the people will respond to him like the interview said, wow, another breakthrough on black holes. This is the shit that people believe just because it's on TV and it comes from authorities. Stephen Hawking was a step removed from George W. Bush, who was the president when I was still a teenager. It's part of the reason I just cannot stand this country. It's a joke. It's a joke. Larry's selling retards to you like they're geniuses. Tell me where Elon Musk has ever sounded intelligent in an interview. And go watch him wear his I'm Dark Mega cap as he hops 1 millimeter off the stage. I'm Dark Mega 78, just like Tesla, like I was declared the world's richest man for the first time ever on the 78th death anniversary of Tesla. And then he meets up with Jesuit-educated Trump at age 78, just like Trump's uncle did the audit on Tesla's papers after he died. What a script. Okay. Yeah, and then just this shit yesterday. Yesterday I talked all about 26 and look out for the pattern this year. I should have mentioned that today's going to have 26 date numerology because it's right in front of us. FBI arrests 26 charges 26 college basketball players with shaving points. How come they didn't get Jalen Brunson yesterday? Jalen Brunson didn't get arrested yesterday for shaving points? Are you kidding me? We loved it because we liked the Kings to upset the Knicks for a big payout yesterday as they got their 11th win, winning by 11 over the 11th state as Brunson doesn't even show up to play basketball number 11. How come the FBI didn't round him up yesterday? Remember they rounded up Chauncey Billups by the numbers. Chauncey Billups' name equals 80 to start the 80th NBA season. And by the way, there's something up with this year's NHL and NBA seasons because the NHL began on Putin's birthday when half the league's Russians, and the NBA began on Netanyahu's 76th birthday. And if you don't know, Netanyahu went to high school in Philadelphia where the 76ers are, not to mention that date had 76 date numerology this year. And it's funny that it's the 80th season because the Lakers and 76ers played in the 1980 NBA Finals. Not sure it's going to be as simple as last year. We'll see. Last year, we knew the Thunder were Lock City to win the 79 season because they're the old Sonics team that won the 79 championship. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this stuff is a game. And they do this to make it seem like these sports leagues are legitimate. Oh, there must be a crackdown because they got the ones that were cheating. No. Every game is rigged and scripted. That's how we cashed big time yesterday on the Wednesday 1-4-3 pattern. Georgia got upset as a 1,000,000-point favorite, and North Carolina was a huge favorite over Stanford. They both fell to 14-3 on a Wednesday. Boom. I don't think the FBI arrested anybody off the North Carolina or charged anybody on the North Carolina or Georgia team. They were shaving points like a mother yesterday. By the way, just like how I taught Mr. Christian White in our interview, right at the beginning, I taught him the different date numerology paths. Again, every day, just put it to work. 26 date numerology, which breaks down to 8. 62 date numerology today, which breaks down to 8. It is a game. Keep in mind the word athlete equals 26. Like I wrote about in my first book, Letters and Numbers, chapter 1's about why there's 26 letters in the English alphabet. I get into all kinds of things that are super interesting, but I talk about how important 26 is to athletics. Athlete equals 26. God, I forget what it is about the Olympics that has the 26 connection. I should go read my own book. But names like Jordan and Brian equal 26. And we all know what they did to Brian since that book came out. He died on the 26th, the anniversary of Bear Bryant dying, the greatest football coach of all time, just like Bryant from the Temptations died on the 26th. Now Don Bryant, the Memphis musician, just died on the 26th of last month. But anyway, this 26 number is super special. But what a day to charge 26 students for point shaving, which equals 62. These are the date numerology paths, 26, 62. And again, just the stupid stuff. But you're using 4 ciphers. Who gives a shit? What are the odds it lines up like this every day? Do you not understand that this stuff is astronomically impossible to go on every single day? That's why it's just like I said, it's because it's a nation in Nick Shirley's. It's why they don't even notice he's a retard, because they're retarded. Nick Shirley is fucking retarded. He doesn't know simple fucking words that 10-year-olds know. How the fuck are people watching this guy and congratulating him on what he's doing? Look at the criticism I get for doing brilliance. How does this guy not have any trolls? There's no dedicated troll network to Nick Shirley. Going to be like, man, this guy's a fucking retard. Why is anyone listening to him? He doesn't know what the word sarcastic means. He doesn't have a fourth grader's vocabulary. He's an American who grew up in a rich neighborhood and he's dumb as rocks. That's everything too. He's this little entitled, spoiled shit. That's why I wonder who his daddy really is, how he's all connected to all this stuff. Knows his dad is absent from his work, but his mom is. I guarantee you his dad's somebody in this world, probably works for the intelligence agencies. Because again, the CIA recruits from the Mormons first because they're so straight edge. They love those Mormons. They don't drink, they don't smoke. But also, don't get it twisted. You know, the most corrupt man I ever knew was a man I worked for who was a Mormon, who would always bitch about how weird he thought Jehovah's Witnesses were. And he's like, they don't even have windows on their temples. Who knows what's going on in there? It's like, don't you guys have like weird things in your basement too and secret ceremonies? But again, the Mormon man I used to work for, he was very generous in the way he paid me. And every time I was about to quit my job because of how dishonest our workplace was, he'd come and incentivize me and pay me more. And it did make me stick around. And maybe if we ever do have to go through some gates, if you're going up here, down there, if you believe in all that, man, maybe if I ever get in trouble, it'll be for not quitting that job as soon as I saw it was up there. But the point was, I had this Mormon man who was the biggest smiley, could act so nice, but he was just such a corrupt individual when it came to honesty with business, because all he was about was money, money, money. And what motivates those Mormons to make so much money is how much they have to give to their church. Man, if you're not making money, your family's going to starve because the church requires a lot. But the point was, I used to work in real estate and in appraisals, and I've told this story before. I don't want to get into it right now, but the point was, really nice, smiley guy, but just zero ethics when it came to honesty in the business profession. Nick Shirley reminds me of that too, because I see him going like, listen, I don't drink, I don't do porn, I don't have a girlfriend. It's like, yeah, but you go out and you make fraud videos that make people want to go out and kill each other. That's a million times worse. You jerking off at your home, drinking some beer, as long as you're not doing anything to anybody, that's not creating chaos in the world. Going out and performing a ritual for the Republican Party to further divide the country, that can get people killed. Dumbass. He's too dumb to understand that. But yeah, again, the ACLU sues today for what's going on in Minneapolis. I mean, it's the same shit. ACLU 26, Minneapolis 62. News by the numbers all day, every day. Again, ACLU's tied in with MLK. It's his birthday. Notice this year, what will be MLK Day, January 19th, it also happens to be the ACLU's anniversary of establishment. MLK Day falls on the ACLU's birthday. Again, MLK closely associated with George Floyd. His name was brought up a lot after that. What's going on in Minneapolis now is being connected to George Floyd. Again, the rioting for George Floyd started on 33rd Street, similar to Rodney King getting beaten on 3-3. Again, always invoking this history, and for most people, it's just going over their head. They're just not connecting the dots. But yeah, like I've said a million times, you want to be in a high place, you better be Jesuit educated. I said that, you guys, I almost went to Seattle University. It was before I knew about all this corruption in Gematria. It's when I was younger. And the reason I didn't go there is because it was so expensive. I was accepted to go there, but it was just too damn expensive. And so I just wonder what would have happened in my life if I would have gone there. I do think back. When I was younger, there were a lot of people that were trying to recruit me to do all kinds of things. They saw the passion and the ability to speak and the ability to get in front of crowds and say what was on my mind, no matter how tough it was. I just wonder what would have happened if I would have went to one of these Jesuit institutions. Anyway, yeah, Maria Corina Machado Perisca, 115. 115. On 115, she's at the White House. Do you know the name of the organization she created in Venezuela? This Jesuit woman, Vente Venezuela? Wow, 177 and 201. How many times have we seen these numbers paired together in rituals over the years? You know, we'll never outdo this one. This will be the great. Well, I shouldn't say never say never, but you know, Klaus Schwab, the Jesuit with the 177 connection, like New World Order, like the Jesuit Order. He gave us the Event 201 simulation where they simulated Cooties 19 on the same day the military World Games began in Wuhan, China, a month before the outbreak in Wuhan. And see, what drives me nuts is like when you're in Seattle and you're speaking on this on the street, all of them are giving you all kinds of shit. But then the people that have somewhat of a brain, they'll come by and they're good at making arguments. They'll go, well, maybe the reason they did that is because they knew it was already out there and they wanted to keep it under wraps before they put everybody in a panic. So they did the simulation to kind of get things ready before they introduced it to the public. If it is like that, that is the only feasible thing. But my point is, the people that come up with these arguments, they never will go through that kind of thinking process to question the authority. If the authority told them, they're just they're in lockstep. Okay, I'm not going to think twice about anything or what else could be going on. Their mind is always working to justify the authority's narrative. That's what's maddening. It's like, does it seem like that's how it is, though? You know, how about 9/11, where all those simulations just happened to be going on that day? It was just a big coincidence that caused all this confusion as two towers became zero before they became one, as we started a 20-year war that ended on the Jesuit order's birthday. It's just, you know. But yeah, look at it. And this lady just won the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, come on. She won it on the day leaving 81 days left in the year. That means from winning the prize to today is 96 days later, or a span of 97. But remember, D.C. is the Masonic city as well. The Masons, the modern Freemasonry is a Jesuit creation. Freemasons, 96. I forget what it is about Nobel Peace Prize. I don't see anything that relates with today's ritual. I remember when they killed Kofi Annan in the Nobel Peace Prize ritual at age 80. I remember that. Former head of the United Nations, something else that was created in a Jesuit ritual. Oh, by the way, look at what day she created that organization, May 24th, the 144th day of the year. And again, you'll see this a lot too. You'll see the 144 get paired with the 177 and 201. And again, detractors will say, see, Zach's saying Jesuit order and the Jesuit order. And what's your point? Are they both not true, grammatically correct ways of putting it? Because this process is about taking the numbers behind the words, matching things, and also on the dark side of Kabbalah, performing rituals around them. So why not put the two things together? They both explain the same thing. They both connect to the same thing. And I've made this exact same point so many times, how these same numbers will get grouped together. The 177 named organization is established on the 144th day of the year. And don't forget, they just captured Maduro, they had to tell us, at 2:01 a.m. local time. That was in their press conference when Pete Hegseth, who was chosen on the Superior General's birthday, the leader of the Jesuits, at his press conference, he came out and so maturely said, fuck around and find out. That's why it's just so unbelievable where we are in the country. I couldn't have fathomed this growing up or as a teenager, that things would get this dumb and hokey. You know, that Mr. Game Show, The Apprentice would be the president. I mean, once Bush was the president, I could fathom it because it was just unbelievable too. But again, George W. Bush was a lot like Nick Shirley. Poor handle on the language. Sounded like a moron every time he talked. But yeah, it is just really bad. It's really bad. And I've always said, like, I don't want to give up. I just want to fight. But then I see, what am I fighting for? This nation's been this corrupt killer from the beginning that's now cultivated a society of fucking retards that don't know their place. They think because they're so fucking dumb that an intelligent person has a mental problem. Oh, sorry, because I have 100 more IQ points than you actually doesn't mean that I'm schizophrenic. It means I'm intelligent, you fucking retard. They don't get it, though. And again, the problem becomes that you start to look at how dumb people are, and you start to kind of get the mindset of these people that have just cleared away populations of people. I'm telling you guys, if I ever got the keys to the drones flying over, man, I might send out a warning to the mothers and the children, but I'm ready to bomb away because these people need to fucking go. God, I get tired of it. Yeah, Nick Shirley, man, he's good. No, you're a fucking retard, and so is he. Let me deploy. What's your coordinates? Drones on the way. Special delivery. Huh? Yeah, but 115's not 115, and you had to run the alphabetic order in reverse, so Like, no, you fucking moron. Look at every single sports team to visit the White House in my last decade's worth of work and tell me every single one of these wasn't a fucking ritual just like this, moron. This shit's impossible unless it's all scripted together. And again, behind all these sports are Masons, just like DC's the Masonic City. Masonic 115. It goes with that lady winning the Nobel Peace Prize and then being at Chump's house 96 days later. And by the way, just about the 62 date numerology, the official title of what they won is the Stanley Cup Finals, which also equals 62. And the lesser date numerology today is 42. Sunrise, FL, where the Panthers play, is 42. Their stadium's in Sunrise, Florida. Okay. John Harbaugh, fired by the Ravens, goes to work for the New York Football Giants, who lost to the Ravens in Super Bowl 35 right before 9/11. The Ravens associated with death, darkness, the giant towers came down after things flew into them after that Super Bowl. And then we got the emergence of the Patriots after New England after the Patriot Act. You know what I mean? Again, this year, Drake May, the Patriots' new quarterback, became 9-11 on the anniversary of the Patriot Act as a starter. But yeah, it's just, stuff's a joke. And that Super Bowl was 25 years ago, like Ravens equals 25. Huge number with the Ravens and their scripted rituals. Hit on 25 a gazillion time with Ravens games. And there's probably something to him going to the Giants before the Super Bowl's on the 39th day of the year this year. Again, we call New York 39 land, NY 39, New York 39, NYC 39, New York, NY 39, G-Min, what they call the Giants 39, and so on and so forth. Today's 133 days after the season began. Remember, football equals 133, and so does government. And why does that matter that football and government equal 133? Because the NFL's birthday is the Constitution's birthday, and the NFL was literally established 133 years to the day of the Constitution. And don't forget, the star of the NFL who had an off year this year with his fake Achilles injury after Taylor Swift came out with the end of an era, his birthday is the NFL and the Constitution's birthday, September 17th, and he went to White House High School, and they've synced up a lot with him in the Oval Office. Of course, I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes. And then with regards to the NFL season, again, just right here, Chicago celebrity, CEO of Harold's Chicken Shack, the daughter of the founder, dead at 55, big Chicago Bears number. It's weird because we've been documenting all the 239s going on with this NFL season and the playoffs. And if you're watching the NFL games, there wasn't a single game where they didn't stop the clock at 239. They did it in every damn game. The Super Bowl is 239 days after Trump's birthday. And remember, Donald Trump equals 60, and he has the same birthday as the flag, which was sewn at 239 Arch Street. And the first time he took office, the flag was 239 years old, and he took on the protesters of the flag on 23/9. That year, the Eagles went on to win the Super Bowl, the home of the flag. But they're doing obviously something different because the Eagles are out of it this year, but they're putting 239 on the clock when they keep stopping these games. And now I see she's dead. And again, when I first opened up the article, I said, look at that. They chose a picture of her from the 106th day of the year during the 106th NFL season. And then to add insult to injury, her father died March 8th, right? 3/8, death, murder, killing, RIP, all 38. That's the 67th day of the year, typically, like blood sacrifice and human sacrifice is 67. This whole 6-7 meme right now. But look at that. From his death anniversary to now his daughter's death anniversary, 312 days, the Chicago area code. Remember, they just told you this after the game. Remember, we got the first Pope from America. He's from the 312 Chicago. The last Pope, Francis, the first Jesuit, died on the 312th day of Trump's age. Then we get the Chicago Pope from the 312. Then you're hearing more about Nick Fuentes than ever from Chicago. You're hearing about Charlie Kirk's assassination by the numbers 60 weeks after the Trump hoax, who's also from Chicago. But look at this stat for the Bears comeback. Again, if you missed this, from 1970 to 2024, that was the year Vince Lombardi died. That's the modern era. From the modern era start to 2024, the Packers had only lost one time when up 10 or more points with 5 minutes left. 306-1. This season, they were up 10 or more points with 5 minutes left and lost 3 times, but won 6. So they stayed on 312 all-time wins in that situation versus the 312 area code. And now right after that, days after that, the Chicago celebrity, she is dead 312 days after her dad who founded the company. And remember, we just had the 18-point comeback, Bears 18 by Caleb Williams, number 18, as the Bears got their 18th postseason win. Now they're going to play on the 18th, 18 weeks after the Pope's birthday, and Caleb Williams is hoping to become 18-18 as a starter for his career. But this woman dies along the way, and this is what we see year after year. The rigged games and the ritual sacrifices year after year. And by the way, Harold's Chicken Shack, she was the CEO of this company, established June 22nd, 1950. So it's 206 days after the company's establishment. Remember, sacrifice equals 206. 206 bones in the adult body. That's also the Seattle area code. And they put out this thing. They made it public information. They're talking about on ESPN that the last 2 times there was a new pope, the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl. And keep in mind, Seattle's 17-19 in the postseason right now. Their game this weekend's 18 weeks after the Pope's birthday. Their game, if they made it to next weekend, the conference championship would be 19 weeks after their birthday. They have a chance to become 19-19, 19 weeks after the Pope's birthday when Seattle equals 19. So keep an eye on these things. Just like I wrote in my book, Number Games, there is a link with Seattle and Chicago. Through things like Sleepless in Seattle, where it starts in Chicago, goes to Seattle. It's things like the first case of cooties outside of China was in Seattle. The second case was in Chicago. But this picture of her from the 106th day of the year. Black Lives Matter, 106. I Can't Breathe, 106. Black Alone, 106. Remember the Prince Hall Lodge at the Yale campus, which is Black Freemasonry, is building 106. 106 in Park on BET. Black quarterback. This year in the 106th season, there were more starting black quarterbacks than ever. Half the league at the start of the year, 16. What's interesting? CJ Stroud, his name is 106. He's the only remaining black quarterback in the AFC, and it's Caleb Williams in the NFC. But you see how black quarterbacks also 146? Look at the box score for Aaron Rodgers versus CJ Stroud. And keep in mind, home teams had 146 wins in the regular season this year, but I just want you to see this with Aaron Rodgers' box score versus CJ Stroud. Remember, this is where Mike Tomlin stayed on 201 career wins with Craig Rolstad, the ref, whose name equals 201, who was working his 201st game when the Rooney family that owns the Steelers are Jesuits. But look at this. And Aaron Charles Rodgers equals 201. Rodgers had 146 passing yards. And hold up, let me pull up CJ Stroud's actual name. CJ Stroud is 106. Coleridge Bernard Stroud the fourth. Let me see if I got this right. Without the abbreviation. Yeah, his actual full name is 146. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? In the 106th season was the season with the most starting black quarterbacks. It's interesting that it's 56 because there wasn't a black quarterback in Super Bowl 56, and Super Bowl 60 is the 56th Super Bowl of the modern era. But yeah, we've been trying to figure out what it is about all this 146, and then we see, again, you guys, the point is these games are so beyond fixed. It's ridiculous. You got to love Woody Marks having 112 yards on January 12th. Again, that's a big Houston number, 112. It was a span of 112 days from the Charlie Kirk Memorial in Pittsburgh, and the next day on First Take, Stephen A. had to apologize for calling Christian Kirk Charlie Kirk, and we had Christian Kirk to score a touchdown, and likely the first touchdown, because it happened all year. He got his 33rd career touchdown. All year, guys who could get their 33rd career touchdown on MNF, Monday Night Football, they so often were the first touchdown of the game, which is a big payout when you take a player to score the first touchdown of the game. But yeah, I mean, isn't this stuff just so sick? Killing a 55-year-old woman. And at the end of the day, you guys, I mean, I think most of these people who are getting sacrifices because they're in the club. They got to be in the club. They made some extra money. They got some extra fame. They had some extra perks along the way. But then the cost is your number might come up in their death lottery for their ritual for that year. And the next thing you know, you're out of here. And you know what's sad is I think a lot of Americans, if they were told that they could, listen, you want to be in the club? You're going to be a millionaire tomorrow. You want women and all that? You're going to have it as soon as tomorrow. But here's the thing. We might come call your number, and it could be a month from now, or if you're lucky, it might be 80 years from now. I think a lot of people would take their chances. I think a lot of people would be like, you know what? I want all that money and all that comes with it. Sign me up. Let's hope it's 80 years from now. And for some people, it's not. For some people, it's not. For her, it looks like it's the middle of the road. So, but yeah, it's just the same shit over and over and over. And imagine being the guy to do this kind of journalism every day for going on 13 years and get almost no respect. Get mostly harassment and weirdos and cars crashing through your house on Christmas Eve and your home getting ransacked and your business getting sabotaged and your wife getting harassed and just all the shit. And then you watch this fucking retard that doesn't even know simple words, who's just some little... And see, that's the thing for Nick Shirley. His card's going to get called because he signed up somewhere along the way. I don't know if his daddy put him in there or what, but it's obvious getting to sit at the table with Trump and promoted by Elon Musk and J.D. Vance. Nick Shirley's going to end up getting the same treatment as Charlie Kirk. Bank on it. That's the way it works. But it's still frustrating to watch. Like, look how bullshit this world is. Legitimate great work goes unnoticed by these fucking retards, and all the Illuminati has to do is throw out some just stupid, trivial bullshit in front of these fucking losers, and they'll eat it right up. And they won't question shit. And they'll come across a bill like this and be like, huh, yeah, right, buddy. Think they sacrificed somebody for a football game? Yeah, I do, you fucking moron, because it's not just a football game. It's the thing that holds this fucking country together, you moron. If they took away these sports leagues, you fucking losers would be more like me. You'd be paying attention to all that you're getting fucked up the ass with, and you'd want to do something about it. You fucking morons. The Romans knew the same thing, because this is Rome. Give these fucking losers the circus, and they'll keep being good slaves. Can you imagine thinking this shit's a coincidence for the 3-1-2 after what I've been calling out all year? I mean, we're talking about the Chicago 3-1-2 ritual with Trump the day of the inauguration. Been like a million rituals since. That's a coincidence too, I think. Yeah, that one's a coincidence too, I think. It's because you're a fucking retard. Okay. Shout out to Sarah Sutherland. Sarah Sutherland, you're a new YouTube member? That blows me away. Sarah Sutherland, super generous person over there. Thank you again, Sarah. Cashville lady, Zach, please don't stop this truth. I don't plan on it, even though I probably should. What's the point? I mean, seriously, what's the point? What is the point? Look how shitty the views are on this work. This work's fucking amazing. Nobody cares. They want to have some retard go stand in front of a closed daycare center and say, look, there's no kids here. Fraud. No, you're the fucking fraud, retard. Did you guys see No Impact Flicks defending Nick Shirley? God, that guy's a fucking loser, man. That guy's such a fraud, it makes me sick, too. Trump just announced the Board of Peace. The Board of Peace on 62 date numerology? Oh, wow. Must be another coincidence. It's because we got 4 ciphers. What will Trump's Board of Peace do? Well, it doesn't look like it was today, though. It looks like this was in the news yesterday. Yeah, it looks like this was in the news yesterday. But it's probably not an accident that's making the rounds today, too, on the 62 date. All right. Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, you guys, it's just, the other thing about doing this work. Oh, I was just about to say I have to go to get my daughter, but they just let me know she's taking a nap, so they'll let me know when she wakes up. Okay, I got a few extra minutes. Yeah, it's just, the other thing is I do think about just, really, like, what is the point of continuing to make these videos? It's not that I'm going to give up on the work, but I need to figure out how to get a children's book series out there, something that might actually make this work take off. We need this work to take off like a Nick Shirley Somali daycare fraud video, which is a total load of shit for fucking retards. But we need this work to take off in that same way. We need that to happen. We need to create something that it's inevitable. It can't do anything but take off. Because this isn't it. And let me get this off the screen, whatever we're looking at here. The bottom of this Jerusalem Post with owls, like we're at that place where the weirdos hang out, the politicians outside of San Francisco, place that Alex Jones supposedly snuck into like he wasn't letting there. Oh, Machado brought her Nobel Peace Prize medal to Trump. Wow. Look back at the Miracle on the Hudson. Yeah, look back at the numbers on the Miracle on the Hudson and other contrived stories so that Hollywood could make a movie and make more dollars off you. What'd be a miracle is if the American people woke up and pulled their head out of their ass. Okay. Here, I'm going to drop the link real quick since I have more time. Maybe we can hear from you. Maybe you guys got some observation about these stories. Maybe you caught some stories I overlooked. But yeah, I am sick of just looking at the shit views on this YouTube channel. And my motivation to go to another platform also isn't there. I've been deleted off every platform. I've tried out Rumble plenty and get like 4 views per video because it's for right-wingers. They're not going to favor my stuff on Rumble. It's going to be demoted as well. They want pro-Trump, pro-Republican. Twitter, I got deleted all the way off of. I mean, I've been deleted off Twitch. All these different platforms I can't remember the name of. TikTok. They're not going to let us flourish online. I don't know. Where there's a will, there's a way, but the internet's got us with an anchor weight tied around our ankles thrown in the ocean. You know, they're trying to drag this work to the bottom every time, and they do. I mean, every day. Just look at the views. The views are shit. There's also just not enough people down for the cause. I mean, every day there's people sorry, Zach, I haven't watched the channel a while because it just gets too depressing. It's just... there's just not enough people that are made out of what it's going to take, you know? And then the people that act like they're down for the cause, they're people like the other weekend, like, hey, Zach, I figured out reverse reduction's a false cipher because you don't know math. It's like, it's not a false cipher. What are you talking about? Oh, Zach's a shill because he doesn't agree with me. It's just like, good God, man. I mean, can you send back all the money I paid for your hotel, please? Because I could put it towards my daughter. Diapers are expensive. Thank you, Sarah Sutherland. She said she's here to stay as long as I'm here. Appreciate it, Sarah. Appreciate it. Thank you again. But yeah, even Sarah, I mean, it's just, you know, there's I don't know. We're in such a tough spot, man. It's just it's annoying that it's the trifecta of just people are too dumb. The algorithm is too good at locking down the truth, and I don't even know what the third thing is. I guess it's just really it's the duo. So, did I drop the link for anyone to come on here? Maybe I didn't. Let me try again. And again, and I'm too abrasive, but I don't care. I'm going to keep being abrasive. Zach, I can't share your videos because people in my family really believe in religion, or they really like Trump, or they're really Republican, and they don't like the bad words. It's just, that's what I mean. Everybody's just too indoctrinated. Everyone's just too invested in shit. It's sad. Yeah. Yeah, you know, God only spoke from bushes thousands of years ago. God only sent his son to earth to die for your sins thousands of years ago. You got to believe in the stuff that happened thousands of years ago, printed in this Bible made by man. And isn't it amazing that people can't see through that? Don't you think that everything that God gave you is inherent? Don't you think that's why you know good from evil, just unless you're a sociopath? You know, when you do wrong, you feel guilty about it. You got a guilty conscience. Again, it wasn't, you didn't need some commandment from a book. A book that goes against nature, by the way. Ooh, 12-year-old boy with boner dreaming about cute girl. Get ready for the hellfire, boy. You think that's the way it is? Because God gave you an erection, or the ability to have an erection and be attracted to other people? It's dumb to believe in this shit. So isn't it God's fault then? God made us this way. It was a mistake. The dogma, it's so dumb. All of it is so dumb. Now, is there something about not going around and putting your dick in every last thing and fathering a bunch of children without a parent around? Of course, but that's also in your mind, unless you're an idiot. It's just so many people think. I remember I tried to go. It's funny. In a lot of places I've lived right across the street from a church. Almost everywhere I've lived right next to a church. Now that I think about it, and right now I live a quarter mile from a mega church in this tiny little town. The parking lot's almost as big as the town. But I remember when I lived in Bothell, just north of Seattle. My home was directly across the street from a church, and I just remember going in there and listening to this guy's sermon one time, and I never went back in there. Sweet lady wanted to go in. That was part of the reason we went in there. Sweet lady. But his whole sermon that day was all about thinking about other people sexually will get you to hell. He was making the point, if you're a man and you're married and you have a thought about another woman, that is the exact same as cheating on your wife. And I even talked to Sweet Lady afterwards. I was like, do you agree with him? Would you if I have a thought about another woman, is that as bad as me actually going and sleeping with another woman? She's like, of course not. And if you sleep with another woman, I'm going to cut your dick off. Just religious dogma. It's so dumb. And a lot of people leading these churches and the shit they're saying, it's just stupid as hell. Anyway, Gematria32, please tell me your mic works, dude. Tell me you got your mic fixed. Oh, what's up, man?
Please tell me my mic works too. Please. Hello?
It's working.
Thank God. So listen, you know that the Insurrection Act, it was on March 3rd that it went into effect. Like 3/3.
We've talked about the Insurrection Act before, yeah.
You know that it's 47 days to the Insurrection Act till March 3rd, till the day that it took into effect. I think it was
from today to March 3rd is 47 days. Yeah, that's the 62nd day of the year.
Yeah, it was like 18 something or something like that. 18 something that they drew it up. So yeah, just to know 47. What is 47? You know?
Yeah. I did see there was something out there about considering the Insurrection Act. I did see that this morning.
Yeah, it was all that.
Yeah, they're doing. Yeah, so they're floating this in the news. 47 days before the anniversary. Yeah, great catch.
No, I think Trump he put it on his Truth Network, his Truth Social Network.
Look how old it is right now. It's 218 years and change, right? It's going to turn 219 on March 3rd.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I think it's 216 days until Trump's birthday, and Insurrection Act equals 216 as well. So I'm like, yeah, this is about the numbers. But you know in math, right? The golden rule, whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other to keep things balanced and get the true. You follow?
Right. Yeah, the sides of the equation have to be balanced, right? They have to be equal.
Yeah, to get the true value. So isn't it common sense that we're doing it backwards? You do on one side, you do on the other. Like, you understand?
In terms of what?
In terms of the 4-base ciphers, I'm sorry. In terms of the 4-base ciphers, you see how we do it
forward? Oh yeah, because you're talking about how I had this person call me the other weekend and tell me that reverse reduction is a false cipher. Okay.
Don't you think that's a pretty good argument? Because in mathematics, they say you do whatever. If you're doing math, what is it? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and I forgot the parentheses first. You do parentheses, and you know how it goes. But if you take any one of those, if you follow the rules and you take any one of those formulas, and apply it to the the 4-base ciphers. Obviously, we're gonna do it backwards and simplify.
And it's just like what Aleister Crowley preached to, is this famous occultist who wrote all kinds of books about this topic. Not to say that we're following Aleister Crowley, we're just saying the people who put it out there, what's going on. He talked about what you do forwards, you must do in reverse. So
yeah, also to check your work too. To check your work, and when you're doing algebra or stuff like that, you have to do it. You have to go backwards, right?
out of
That's how
curiosity,
I
can
was
you
taught.
figure out who I was talking about when I was telling this story?
They don't even matter.
You'd be surprised
They,
who they are. They've been around for a long time. They might have been around for longer than you.
these people, I don't understand. This is astronomical. The odds, like that stupid girl. She put a list up. Nothing made sense. Nothing had the same values. Like, what are you talking about? That moon girl. She put up. Remember, she made a little list. None of them had the same value. None of them had
Right, she was
meanings
proving our
that
point. It's not that easy to put words together. She couldn't even just trying to guess things. She couldn't get anything that matched.
yeah, no words had like the same meaning or no number equate. It just was horrible. I was just waiting for you to come out with the 47 list and your name. Look at my name. My name doesn't have a 47. My middle name doesn't have a 47.
How
My
about, how
last
about
name
let's
doesn't
talk
have a
about this one since
47.
it's football season? Is Mike Ditka, was he born Ditka?
God, man, people have to join the
Look, you guys,
Patreon.
if you don't know
I'm not
this,
even.
Mike Ditka, the most famous Bears coach ever, look it up. That's not his last name that he was born with. He changed his name to Ditka, and he becomes the greatest coach of the Bears. And what are the odds that his name equals Bears in every single one of the base ciphers? Which, by the way, when we decode sports, you see how these numbers hit with a team like Caleb Williams' 18-point comeback for the Bears'
You,
18th postseason win. But talk to me, all you people out there that think this is some kind of coincidence. How come he wasn't born with that name, but he assumed that name and became the coach of the Bears?
it's just like Martin Luther. His father took him to Germany. Then after they come from Germany, he's, oh my God, he wants to become Martin Luther now. They took a trip to Germany, and then they came back, and then but Martin Luther King didn't change his name until he was 28 on his birth certificate to Martin Luther King. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
That it was he just assumed that name, but he didn't change it until he was 28. But his father, I think they went on a trip to Germany, then came back, and he's the Messiah now. Messiah equals 115. How about that, right?
Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Just amazing though, because people don't even know that, right? A lot of people don't even know that Martin Luther isn't even his name. It's like he assumed that name just because of Martin Luther, the Protestant Reformation. Like, but people don't even understand ecclesiastics or anything. So it's people are just dumb, and it's sad. But people have to realize not everyone is smart and not everyone is good. It's just like that. It's just people are brought up speaking English, don't have a basic comprehension of English. That's what I don't get too. A lot of people want to rap and don't even understand English, the English language. That's funny to me, But it's a lot of stuff, man, Zach. So, I just hope you keep on pushing, never surrender. You know.
Uh, yeah, like I said, if there's ever a day where I just stop deciding to make videos because the views are just so shit and it's not really worth the time, because it's not, uh, I won't quit. I'll finally work hard on the children's book series or making a game or figuring
It's
out some way that this work could connect with people. But yeah, I mean, it feels like it's run its course putting out videos because the algorithms destroyed us. There's not enough people in the world that are willing to really be down for the cause and help. I mean, for every person like you, there's a million that aren't. So yeah, it's
the
just
side. It's the psyop. They could people are bombarded with too much. It's a lot of chaos, and then they fill the chaos. They fill the void with their bullshit, and then people don't know what to think, and then they don't want to read. Nobody wants to read. I mean, it's sad, man. It's sad. I mean, people who still believe fucking. Whoever's reading that book, especially in English, and you talking about, you're fucking crazy. You're crazy. Like, people call up talking about, oh, this is prophecy. This is gonna happen. You people are out of your fucking mind. You know that? Like, this is scripted to the T. These people have been at this for years, hundreds of years, thousands of years. So
again, if you aren't following what you're saying, you're talking about the English translation of the Bible, where all kinds of books have been omitted and ideas that cannot even be expressed because they're written in languages that don't have the same ideas as English. Again, that's why it is really ridiculous to hang on. What about the King James version? What, the Shakespeare version? I mean, give me a break. If everybody could just get over the religion. By the way, for all you guys out there who aren't into religion and you're atheists, are you into the Big Bang? Because that was written by a Jesuit priest, just for the record. It has the same gematria as Genesis. Just if everybody could just get over all the bullshit dogma and just actually focus on the immediate world and what is being done to humanity and who's responsible for this, because that's everything you always hear. Oh, there's no group of people that could. It's just the way things are working out. No, the way things are working out is because they're highly orchestrated to make sure that the ruling class gets more and more from everybody while everybody else gets less and less. And if you can't see that that's happening, you're a moron. It's been that way for decades. And every single one of their major actions gives them more and us less. And it happened big time during Cooties 19 because people were so fucking dumb and went along with the most obvious fucking lies in the history of the world, as they told you the seasonal flu was deadly. As Lester Holt told you there were no fucking flu cases, and it was all Cooties 19 when the shit was coined as seasonal flu. Oh my God, it makes me mad.
It's all three though. It's all three Abrahamic religions. People, anything stemming from that is and you taking it. You make a good point in your book. Like if you try to translate anything, it'll lose its potency. It'll lose it. Like if you translate a joke in the Spanish to English, it'll lose its potency, its nuances. You won't get it. You'll think it'll sound retarded. So it's impossible to translate Hebrew to English. You know what I'm saying? So you people are.
The other thing that's almost impossible is a lot of these people that are really indoctrinated by the things they believe in, they just are immovable objects. Their mind cannot change. They cannot leave their religion. They cannot leave their political party. And again, it's that quote about show me the child and I'll show you the adult. Really, it's I'll show you the man, but it goes for men and women.
You break it down perfectly in the book because you say, look, it was written in Hebrew. Then the Greeks, they wrote, and it was translated in Greek. Then they translated in Latin, then English. So it's like you're losing so much potency, so much everything. Like, and then how stupid can you be when how they mentioned in the Bible how they repeat themselves so many times? There's mathematics behind that. Like, it's so much, man. But you taught a lot of people, and there's a lot of good students out there, and don't ever feel bad, like, because people, I get it, people get it, a couple people get it, I hope. But you understand, man. So, but
yeah. By the way, this is why it's so frustrating on this platform. I'm just looking through my phone, my Gematria Effect Sports channel. When I click on my subscriptions right now, from my channel, I can't even see my own video going on right now on GematriaEffectNews. It's not there. And that's also why so many people fallen off and don't watch the channel anymore. That's how fucked this channel is. I know the video's going on. I'm aware of it. It's my own damn channel, and I can't even see it right now. And this shit happens all the time. It's not like this is unique, but this is what they've done to this channel. So
yeah,
it really does piss me off.
It's become more difficult, especially with all the mainstream media heads coming on YouTube now, and it's like so it's become more difficult. You got Megan Kelly on YouTube, you got Tucker Carlson, you got all these people from mainstream media now on YouTube. So it's like all this stuff pops up first. So,
indeed, indeed. All the shit is promoted. All the politically divisive shit is promoted. And look at most of these big YouTube channels. They're all Catholics, every last one of them, too. It really annoys me. That fat little witch that poops her pants. What's her name? Bennett. I don't even watch her channel, but it's always in my feed. So
it's a joke. Just look at Trump's cabinet picks, and all these people think this is real. I mean, what elections are real? Okay, but one last thing. Whoever doesn't get the 4-base ciphers, you need to really work on yourself or your situation. This is simple math, forward and backward, simplifying. We're not doing anything spooky. We're not changing nothing. This been here for thousands of years. So I don't get it. People don't know how to add. People don't even know how many letters in the alphabet. can't understand basic freaking English. I don't know, man. It's difficult, Zach, but I'm winning. I know you're winning. We're winning. So that's all we can do. I
Indeed,
mean,
indeed, indeed. All right, Gematria at
I
32. I appreciate it, man.
appreciate you. I
All
appreciate
right.
you. Thank you.
Have a good one. All right, we got Joey in the building. Joey, there's a good chance that if the wrong words come out of your mouth, I might just retire on the spot. Joey's persistently here. 90% of the time, he drives me absolutely nuts. I could get 10 new gray hairs from this call right here. But again, you guys, why is it the Joeys of the world are the most persistent? I need the great minds in the world to help out with this work. Okay, Joey, what is it today?
Yeah, this call is going to be just based on one number, and the number's 331. University of North Carolina equals 331. That's going to be the basis of this call. And the most simple cipher, it's 331. And yesterday was 331 days after Jordan's birthday. And
Hold on, real quick. For the retard in the chat saying give us picks, sign up for the Patreon, moron. You'd already have won a game today. Go ahead.
so, University of North Carolina, 331. Jordan went to UNC, and yesterday was 331 days after Jordan's birthday. But yesterday was 331 months on the nose after the Bulls' last championship with Jordan. The last championship the Bulls won with Jordan, who was against the Jazz, that's who the Bulls played last night. So just think about how perfect it would have to be and how scripted it would have to be for yesterday to be exactly 331 days after Jordan's birthday and exactly 331 months after Jordan's last championship with the Bulls. And University of North Carolina equals 331. But it doesn't stop there, because yesterday the Tar Heels played. They're playing Stanford. And their coach, the Tar Heels coach, is Hubert Davis. Yesterday was 20,331 days after Hubert Davis was born. So that's, when I seen all that, I'm just like, they are really scripting this just so perfectly.
That's actually a good decode. And yeah, that's what they do day after day. And that's why if people have this knowledge and pay attention, you see that the whole thing is just one massive script. And it is kind of amazing the way that they put things in there. But hey, if you're paying attention, not to mention 331's the 67th prime and North Carolina equals 67. But yeah, we thought UNC would get upset yesterday, just like Georgia, because they both fell to 14-3 like Wednesday's 143. And again, it was 34 days before Jordan's birthday, and Stanford and Tar Heels are both 34. You knew they were doing something special with that game, but yeah, just the 14-3 thing, as simple as that. Wednesday 143, two big upsets on the board. Again, those things aren't going to come in every single time, but they come in a good deal, and that's why small risk for potential big reward. You just play those consistently and you don't wager too much. You can turn, again, a dollar bill into 100. You got two big upsets, two games that make a lot of sense. Boom. A dollar is $100. It didn't hit tonight. Guess what? You're out a buck.
Yeah, Chicago, I don't know if you said this, Chicago is 143 as well.
Yeah, Chicago is 143, just like the Packers were up 14-3, and then they came back and won the game with a minute 43 on the clock.
But yeah, that's what they do is just so, it's especially that it's undeniable. But yeah, thanks for the knowledge, and that's all I got. Peace.
All right, take care. Good decode, Joey. Good decode. I like it when they're good. Thank you. This kind of stuff. I mean, is this just troll stuff? You guys like Somalians? How many Somali friends do you have? Have you ever worked with a Somalian? Actually, there were quite a few Somalian refugees when I taught in South Seattle. I noticed that they were pretty good people, very family oriented. Some of them didn't speak the best English, but they'd come in and make their best effort to communicate because they cared about how their child was doing. I saw a lot more involvement from the Somali Muslim refugees than I did see from the Americans that were parents in the actual community. So yeah. Now, could I tell you about a bad experience? Again, I had a student of 30-some kids, and the only one I couldn't get on board in my classroom, his name was Haroon, and he was also Somalian, and he had an older brother who was a really bad influence. So I could have this perspective of, oh yeah, I had this one Somali student who was a little shit. So, but that's not fair, is it? That's why I hate this. Oh, look, like you talking about Somalis like they're all one. Just like any group of people, they're not all the same. They're not all the same. That's why it's so annoying. It's ignorant people talk like this. Ignorant people talk like this. You're an ignorant person. Here, you want to come in here? You want to come in here and tell me about your experience with Somalis? Because actually, I have quite a bit of experience with Somalis. You know what? I never knew any mega Somali scammers in my lifetime. It's not to say that there aren't any, but I could tell you about a Mormon who was a major scammer beyond just Nick Shirley. Again, the one I used to work for, who was about the most corrupt person a person could ever be. But he did have this generosity in keeping his workhorse on board. Every time I threatened to quit, he gave me a bigger and bigger raise. He'd give me really nice bonuses and perks. But no, he was not, and his only motivation was how much money I made him. But he was like essentially a criminal. I don't want to dox him and get out his name, but an article was written about him. Because he did lose his license as an appraiser for things he was doing, which I was even warning him. I said his name was Don. I said, Don, you keep doing this, it's not going to be worth it. You're going to get busted for one of these. And he was like, well, I'm used to getting away with fraud, so I don't think so. Until I ended up being right, but I was already out of there by the time that happened. So yeah, come on and tell me all about why Somalis are so bad. How about there's a video online. God, what's this girl's name? You guys might see her because she shows up in your feed too. She's another pro-Trump person. She recently put up a video. She said, "Thank you, Donald Trump. You bought me this house this year." Her YouTube channel blew up from going around being a Donald Trump troll on the streets of America, kind of like Nick Shirley. It came up in my feed. I just had to watch it. She opened the closet to the furnace, and she goes, "This is the first time I've had a place with a water heater." I was like, look at this shit. This is a Trump supporter. She thinks the furnace is a water heater. She's about as smart as Nick Shirley. And she's also a functioning retard. She's not as dumb as Nick Shirley is, but I can't even think what this girl's name is, but you might know who I'm talking about. She put out this video like a week ago. It got a gazillion views. "Thank you, Donald Trump. You got me a house this year." Literally thought the furnace was a water heater. Again, watch the video. If you think I'm lying, you'll see it. And I just thought, these are these Trump people. Jesus, how do you think the furnace is a water heater? Are you kidding me? I mean, God, talk about a bad stereotype. But she went to Minnesota too right after Nick Shirley and has a whole bunch of views. She stood outside the Leering Center, and she's got it captured on her stream. There's like a kid who's screaming with his red face, and he's even screaming that he's high functioning autistic, and he's like trying to shove this Somali guy. And the Somali guy's the Somali guy's a lot bigger than him. And the Somali guy's standing there real cool and just, the shrugs aren't, and he's just saying like, man, you need to chill. You need to just go away. You need to calm down. And he's getting shoved and pushed by this kid. It's all on video. Watch it. There's a Somali guy who's just as cool as a cucumber. He's like, no, man, you're all agitated because you watched that Nick Shirley video. He said, there's no fraud going on here. He said, this is a child daycare. You need to go away. Guy's just freaking out. You're still in. It's just, no. This is what Nick Shirley did. He got a bunch of retards out there harassing good people. Now, Brian, who always acts like he's not on either side, he is. It's just like when the George Floyd thing was going on. He kept showing the Fox News clips of all the black people looting like Louis stores. He'd say, look at all the color of these people in this store. Look at all the color of the people in this footage. Brian's a little racist piece of shit, too. And he acted like Biden stole the election. It's like, see how dumb you are, dude? Put our work out there. We told you about the whole psyop with Georgetown simulating Biden winning and Trump refusing to step down. It was all simulated before any of it happened. There's so many fake YouTubers out here that are just part of the problem. You're not watching one of them. This is the shit that should take people out of the game being played with them. But you guys get so butthurt because you can't admit that you've been played. You can't admit that you're getting played by the game. And then you get mad at me, the guy who could actually help you out. Again, giving you real knowledge to take advantage of rig sports, rig market, rig crypto, and you're getting mad at me? I'm the only one giving you any real knowledge out here, and you're getting mad at me? It's because you're a fucking loser. Okay. Again, I want somebody to come on here and tell me why Mike Ditka changed his last name to Ditka, which reminds us of Dick Butkus, who died by the numbers before a Thursday night game that the Bears just blew him out. And we made like $1 gazillion off of with the rig. It was one of our best nights of all time. But come on, somebody come on here and tell me, why does Ditka equal Bears in every cipher? Is it just a coincidence? He changed his name to Ditka, of all things. Sounds like Dick, with all these guys bent over in tights when one of the positions is a tight end. A tight end in tights. You can't see how gay all this is? Who's the one that likes to stick their thing in little boys? Isn't that the same church? Isn't that the same church that gave you the language and the calendar and pretty much gave you the NFL? Lombardi's a Jesuit. He died unexpectedly right before the 1970 season began. The NFL merger season just happened to die at Georgetown unexpectedly one day before the season. I'm sure that wasn't a ritual sacrifice. Where are you guys? Call in here and tell me what I don't know. Why does Ditka equal Bears in every cipher? Why is it what I would call the most Pierce cipher? Why is it 18? Like Caleb Williams just got the Bears their 18th playoff win with the 18-point comeback. Why did my community know to double down at halftime when they were down 18 to pad their pockets at plus 900? We got Carlos. What's up, Carlos?
Hey, hi there, Zach. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you, Carlos?
Great, thank you. I'm sorry. The other day, I kind of came from work. I work at night from 9 to 6, and when you gave me the time to talk, I was the sleepy pill kind of kick, and I couldn't really kind of like say what I wanted to say.
By the way, I know some people use sleeping pills because of things going on in their life, but they have a lot of negative health consequences. It's always good to wean yourself off those things if you can. But go ahead, Carlos.
Okay, great. Yeah. So what I was trying to tell you that day was that I've been trying to spread the knowledge and talk to everybody's kind of like, yeah, I know the playoffs and my team the Raiders and my team the Niners. I live in Salinas, California, where John Steinbeck town. It's like 40 minutes from Santa Cruz, 2 hours from San Francisco. And anyways, some people kind of believe they don't want to believe that there's rigged, because they want to think that it's fair and whatnot. Other people, they're just so invested since they were kids, indoctrinated on like their team, and they're just all disillusioned the whole life, like pulling with the heartstrings, their emotions every fucking time they lose. You know what I mean? Anyways, so I was starting to tell some of my coworkers, and some of them were like starting to believe when I fucking told them about the Venezuela with the Pittsburgh, the Borregales, Andy, with the connection with Maduro. And then I was telling them like, oh, and so one of the Chargers kid was like, oh, it's not rigged. And then once I fucking told him that shit and told him the fucking numbers, then he started kind of like questioning, and other people were kind of like, yeah, I believe that, and other people were not. So it's kind of like three different camps. Some people kind of like are in the middle, like in the fence. Other people don't want to jump the fence. Other people are already in the fence. Just letting you know. Anyways,
again, for people who don't know, this past weekend, the wild card round, you had 3 games on Sunday, and they were all in tribute to Super Bowl 39. Super Bowl 39 was hosted by Jacksonville. The Eagles lost. The Patriots won. So in those games, they were all at home, those teams. First, the Jags lose. Then the Eagles lose. And then the Patriots, the winner of Super Bowl 39, they win. But in that game, the kicker, who's the only Venezuelan player in the league, first, he makes the score 3-6 before halftime, wearing 36. Maduro 36, who was captured 36 years to the day at Noriega. And then he made it 3-9 on a 39-yard field goal, like this Super Bowl 39 tribute. But Venezuela's also 39 and also 111, like those games were on January 11th. And don't forget that Maduro's capture was 111 days after the Pope. But yeah, this stuff is major league ritualism week in and week out. And like I've said this whole time for over a decade, scripted from the final score to the box score. And we prove it week after week. And I don't know. It drives me nuts that people want to deny it. But anyway, go. I'm glad you're waking some people up. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say two things. Okay, so one of them is kind of like last year in June, my wife got me tickets to go see Metallica at the Levi Stadium, the new Niners Stadium. So that's where the Super Bowl is gonna be, right? Um, yeah, so I went, I've seen Metallica like back in the day with fucking the Candlestick Park with Deftones and Mudvayne and Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit, and it was fucking awesome. And I'm seeing him at the fucking Coliseum with fucking Machine Head and Lamb of God, and the Shark Tank with whoever the fuck, Anyways, last year it was really nice. My wife bought me the tickets. The first night it was with Suicidal Tendencies, and the second night it was with Pantera. Anyways, you know I the first night I take my stepsister, and she never seen Metallica, so she was all stocked up. So we go there, and then in front of this, when you enter, in front of the stadium, there's a picture. It's called the Catch, and you could Google it. And so there's a picture of the Catch, the one where
Dwight
1982.
Clark. Yeah.
Yes.
And Dwight Clark ends up dying in Montana, you guys, when he caught the ball from Joe Montana, and he
Yes.
died right around Joe Montana's birthday anniversary. I mean, come on.
Listen to this, Zach. Are you ready for this? There's a statue. It's 120% bigger than normal. I don't know what it's like a scale. 120% of an actual human, but it's a statue, right? And it has the play and 192 and the name of the guy, and he's catching the thing is right in front, right? And I put the picture on the AI on Gemini, and I asked about it, and yeah, it's the famous fucking cat.
Uh-oh, he cut out right when he was getting to the good part. Carlos, are you still there? I wanted to hear what he was going to say. Shoot. Well, I'll bring up 202-5, and then we got JP in the back, too, and we'll see if Carlos comes back so we can hear the rest of that.
What are you
what's
doing?
Up,
God damn.
Somebody driving crazy?
Yeah, I'm just getting off of work, man. Just fucking idiots, man. It's 7 o'clock here. You would think all the idiots would be off the road, but apparently they're still out here, What can I say?
I hear it, man. It's crazy how many bad drivers are out there, especially. I mean, that's another reason to get out of big cities. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and it's always these. Well, I don't want to say always, but it's majority of the time it's these Virginia drivers and these Maryland drivers. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're in the area, Zach, you will understand. I mean, I know Elon Ween would understand what I'm talking about. But these Maryland, Virginia drivers, man, they are the worst. But hey, let me. You were talking about Dick Buckus. No, you talking about Mike Dicker. The other guy, Dick Buckus, who also played for the Chicago Bears, and then they also got this Caleb Faggy Williams on their team. I don't know, that team is full of zesty, history or some shit,
I don't think it's just that team. I see the point you're making. Dick Buckus, Mike Ditka, and again, if you guys weren't here, I mean, we were definitely here before it happened. We just couldn't believe it that day. We said, look at this, man. The Bears can become 787 and 628 as a franchise tonight on the day that Dick Butkus dies. Again, this cipher is what gives you the bigger numbers. Some people think this is the Agrippa's Key cipher or Jewish gematria or Latin gematria, but that is what the Bears record became.
I just called about the Dick Buckus. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, no, for people who don't know, I'll just put it up there again. I mean, that's what the Bears did the day that Dick Butkus died. How can this be a coincidence? Isn't this evidence that their entire franchise history is scripted? How could it not be?
Yeah, hey, didn't Mike Dicker play tight end too? Tight end? Yeah. Tight end.
And the thing was, I didn't realize that Mike Ditka was Ukrainian, and I didn't realize that they were using him in the news at the start of the Ukraine war, but they were. If people want to go back and look, and remember Zelensky, who's an actor, years before he was in that show where he becomes the president. If you didn't know that, there's a show about Zelensky where he becomes the president of Ukraine before he became the president. He was out doing like comedy routines with playing the piano with his pants down with his dick in his nuts.
Yeah,
that's who this guy is, and that's pretty gay too.
And here's another one. I mean, God rest his soul. I don't like to talk bad about this guy because he was such a great guy, Walter Payton. But what's his nickname? Sweetness? I mean, what man is going to call himself Sweetness?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, yeah, I hate to even bring that up because Walter Payton was the GOAT, but yeah, But
Well, that rapper Pimp C said you want to make it in the industry, you got to either sacrifice somebody or bend over and pull down your pants. And of course, he died at 33 on Jay-Z's birthday. Gay equals 33 kind of exposed that. So, and some people call Jay-Z Gay-Z. So,
yep. I mean, hey, him and Diddy were rolling together for quite some time, so I don't know.
I think I do know. I think there's enough clues there.
Yeah. I mean, no, I know you do know, but I'm just saying, like,
You remember that? You remember what they did with Jake Butt, right? Jake Butt?
No.
For people who forgot, Jake Butt was supposed to be drafted in the first round. He went to Michigan when Harbaugh was the coach of Michigan. Harbaugh goes and meets the Pope days before Jake Butt gets drafted in the NFL. Jake Butt falls to the 145th pick of the draft. Catholic 145. But you see how Catholic's also 71, just like Denver Broncos, who drafted him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, come on, Jake Butt, the tight end, after your coach shakes hands with the Pope. And then his career ended on the big Jesuit date, September 27th. He supposedly got a career-ending injury on the big Jesuit date.
Oh, hey, you know what? There used to be this running back used to play for the Chargers back in the early 90s. His name was Marion Butts.
Yeah, Marion Butts. I remember Marion Butts.
Yeah. I mean, like, what kind of surname is that? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
all bent over with their tights, but
yeah. All right, Zach, man, I got to get off this phone, man. I got to focus on these idiots on the road, man. But yeah, it's always nice talking to you, my man.
All right, yeah, watch out. Be careful out there. All right, take care.
All right, peace.
All right, we got JP up next, but let me see if Carlos fixed his mic. Carlos, are you still there? Carlos, hello? Damn. Right when he was about to say something that I bet was interesting as hell, all of a sudden we can't hear him. Carlos, feel free to reconnect. I'll drop the link in the chat again, but somehow, some way, we've lost you. Right when you were getting to the climax of the story. Okay. Yeah, Carlos, reconnect and come back. I just dropped the link in the chat again. Just come right back. I bet it'll work. What's up, JP?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
I don't know what the like right now with the games that are happening this Saturday and Sunday. I mean, it seems to be that this theme of the Super Bowl actually is going to be, I don't know if you think it, but O.J. Simpson tied possibly.
Well, that's been a theory we've had all year that it could be the O.J. Simpson Bowl.
The Juice Bowl, right?
Yeah. But
it's funny because you obviously got the Bills Broncos. That's the joke there, and then you got the Chargers. I'm sorry, the Rams and the Bears. That's the Ron Goldman was born in Chicago, died in L.A. So that's very interesting. And then I was looking at obviously this Saturday is the 17th. It'll be exactly 31 years and 7 months since the chase, 317.
Right. Again, you guys, the Bronco chase was in 94. The season began on 9-4. You got the Bills and the Broncos playing each other in the playoffs. And again, that wild card weekend started on the anniversary of Buffalo Bill's death, who died in Denver. So, I mean, just think about how big of a script it is. But
big time. And I was thinking, if you look, obviously 317 is the 66 prime number. It's happened many times. Saturn's the sixth planet. There's been times where both bye teams have lost. That's not like something that's never happened before. But if we do see the 49ers and the Bills advance, I mean, I definitely can see the script really right in front of our faces here. And then I was already looking at the name, obviously the name Nicole is back in the news, with the killing of Renee Nicole Good. They have to use the full name, Renee Nicole Good, Nicole Brown Simpson. I mean, I can't ignore that. Because obviously the news and as you say, and as we all know, the news syncs up with the sports all the time, and they have to put this in our faces. Some people don't see it. Some people do. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, O.J. Simpson's last season was the 60th season of the NFL, of football. And obviously we're in the 60th Super Bowl. And, I mean, it very much could happen. It's also if you look at the date span actually from the chase to the game on Saturday, you're gonna get I believe I said the 317, but also it's actually 1-1, a total span of 11538. Words like Lucifer equal 115 and 38. What else equals 115 and 38? I don't think Messiah does, but big ritual used words like Lucifer and things that are very esoteric have that 11538 value. I think Bob Weir also equals 115 and 38, who recently passed away.
Hey, you should continue this conversation with us on Patreon. That was a good catch. I didn't realize that OJ last season was the 60th season in light of the year Super Bowl 60. That's super interesting. I should have had that.
Well, it's just something that's there because we definitely can't ignore that because
no, that's how they'd love to do things. Just like last year, 79th NBA season. Who wins it? The team that won the 79 NBA Finals. That's what they do year after year if you pay attention. I got to go get my daughter, though. So there's two more people in the back. I got to get them in real quick, and then I got to go pick her up. She's up from her nap. So I appreciate it, JP.
You got it. Take care, Zach.
I've got Hot Hand Dave, and then we got Carlos back. Dave, I'm going to let Carlos go first just because he was here in his story. Let's hope it's working. I want to hear the rest of the story. Carlos, you were talking about the statue.
The catch.
Boom.
Yeah. So I asked the AI. I took a picture, and then I asked AI about it, and he told me, yeah, it was the famous 1982 where Joe Montana sent the pass, and it started the legacy for the 49ers. And he told me that exactly 23 yards away, there's an opposite statue of Joe Montana with the arms in celebration, and I think it's kind of like I think there's a museum with 11 spaces with like different things of different statues of different players. But the whole thing with the 23, there's exactly 23 yards away, representing the game, the play.
Well, Montana also won Super Bowl 23.
Yes,
he
and then
the Bengals in 16 and 23.
Yeah, and then like the Brady, with the reduction, the 23.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was fucking crazy. And then
by the way, guys, we thought the winning score of Niners Eagles was likely going to be 23 points this past weekend because Brady equals 23, and he was calling the game exactly 23 weeks after his birthday, and he's from the Bay Area. And he has history with the Eagles. And who scored the 23rd points? McCaffrey. We had him for 2 touchdowns this past game to get to 58 with the Niners on a 58 date numerology. And the Niners purposefully shanked the extra point to keep it on 23 because it's all script.
Yeah. Well, just to let you go, thank you very much for letting me in your show. I fixed my computer. I got a MacBook, and they had your first letters and numbers. And so I'm going to start reading that. And luckily, I also have the numbers game. So I'm going to start reading this right now. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Carlos.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Yeah, you too, man. Take care. What's up, Dave?
What's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up,
real quick. You mentioned about that article in 1940. It's been 40 years since number 40. There's a certain, I don't want to give too much away, but there's a certain team that won his second term in his first year, and it can happen again 40 years later. Number 40 just lost his stepson the other day.
Yeah, Michael Reagan.
And you had the Berlin thing today.
Oh yeah, the Berlin game, right?
So just for shits and giggles, I put in Russian Bears, and you'll freak out. It's 146 and 47 and 88.
Okay, because the bear is Russia. Yeah.
Well, that's what was going on during number 40's term.
The whole Cold War thing.
Yeah. Just a thought.
Yeah, and then the Soviet Union fell apart while his VP was the president, George H.W. Bush.
And then you mentioned the New York Times on October 6, 106, 1940.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And his birthday is 6'5". The current flag is 65 years old. Last thing before I go, a wise man once told me when it comes to championships, you do not fade the president in White House. Number 40 is a president.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. That was
You know
some
what I
good
mean?
advice.
Okay. Talk to you tomorrow, Zach.
All right, Dave. Take care, man.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good night. Bye.
Yeah, take care. Yeah. Again, my book is out there. As time goes on, the sales dry up more and more. To keep this book in print, it does need to sell at least a few copies a month. I know last month it sold 10 copies because I get $2 per copy. I got a $20 royalty last month. So thank you to the 10 people in the world who bought it. Something interesting here. Let's do this math real quick. You know this the gentleman who just interviewed me, right? I again, if you missed it, again, he uploaded our video today. It looks like he's got another upload today. So this Christian White, if you look at his most popular videos, right? His most popular interview is with this author, John Waters. And 65,000 views. Not bad for a channel that has 10K subs. Again, I used to be able to get views like that pretty easily, but not for the last 5 years. The last 5 years, I'm like in permanent shadow ban and I don't get any views. And I think a lot of it's manipulated. But I was thinking about this because I was watching, as you can see, I watched the majority of this interview. I like a lot of the things he says, but he doesn't have an idea of who's actually running the show in this world. He can see that things are being orchestrated and there is some kind of cabal, but he doesn't know who it is, right? So it's interesting, but it's like, okay, he doesn't have enough information to draw conclusions. And then actually he starts to get into, and then he starts to fall into one of the things. He's really against Islam. And actually that's why I turned off the video. I was like, okay. So he's caught up in the religious divide. And I get it. Islam's culture is a lot different than the West. And he's making a fair point that, their culture doesn't really merge with ours and how they're mixing us all up together. And they are trying to create problems. But I was kind of getting the sentiment that he doesn't really like Muslim people. And again, they're not bad people. But yeah, again, I wish everyone could just get over the religion. Here's the point I'm making, though. I guarantee you that his interview with me is not going to get anywhere near that many views, but I just want you to see his book that's out there. You can see my book pretty well reviewed. My book actually has a lot more reviews than Charlie Kirk's recent book, and I really do think they stole money from me because I got paid well the first 2 months, and then I didn't get any money ever after. I just got little tiny sums of money for every month after the first 2 months, and I was thinking, at the time, my book had more reviews than Andrew Cuomo's book, and both of our books came out the same day about cooties. It wasn't by design by me, but again, I thought, my book's got more reviews than Andrew Cuomo's. And I just saw on TV, he got paid $5 million for his book. Man, I didn't make jack shit for my book. And my book's not a bunch of bullshit like his. But anyway, this John Waters, damn. Let me see if I can pull it up. John Waters books. I found this same guy's books, right? I forgot. I had more information when I wrote it down because... Anyway, the point I'm making is I did find his book yesterday. He's not this John Waters, as the actor. He says the name of the book, so I had the information to look up. The point was his book had a nice review, had a 4.8 review, but it only had 34 reviews, right? It only had 34 reviews, whereas mine, and by the way, I used to have even more reviews. YouTube, not YouTube, but Google overnight took away like 50-some reviews. I remember when they did, I was like, that's weird that they would just take away all those reviews. And they didn't take away any of the troll reviews. There's some troll reviews on this book. They're just total bullshit. Like there's a 1-star review that says, this guy doesn't even know that Biden isn't number 47. Okay. This book was written before Biden was the president. It talks about Biden being the 47th vice president, which he was. But yeah, that's a 1-star review that was given to my book. There's some other dumb reviews like that too, where you can tell that they were just trolling or something. But the point is that I'm making is, how can a guy whose book has 34 reviews, how can he warrant way more views online? You see what I'm saying? It doesn't really make sense, does it? And also just doesn't have any conclusions about who's running things. A lot of things he says is true that he sees about what's wrong in the world that doesn't make any sense. But that's what I mean. It's just like, if you figure out what's going on in the world and you're actually a threat, shadow banned, no more views for you, deleted. So... yeah, there's some math to think about. How does a guy who has, because I guarantee you that the views aren't going to be that good. Nothing attached to my name gets views anymore. Unfortunately. And that's why I say, is it even worth it? Is it even worth, You know, it's funny. I watched a guy show the analytics for. He said if you have 50,000 subscribers on YouTube and you post content consistently, he said the average YouTube channel with 50,000 subscribers makes over 60,000 a year in YouTube ad revenue. I thought, is that right? Because my channel has been at the 50K sub level, and it makes about 1/4 of that in ad revenue. So that's how hard YouTube is screwing this channel. It makes 1/4 of what it's supposed to. 1/4, a quarter. So, yeah, that's called a scam. But anyway, I mean, I'm not surprised. It's just, it goes to show what they're doing. And speaking out truth in this world, you know. The powers that shouldn't be, they definitely don't want you doing well financially off exposing them. So can all be understood. But at the same time, if any of you guys do want to get a YouTube channel going, I mean, you do the right kind of content, it's probably not that hard to get to 50,000 subs. I see a lot of people's channels blow up. If you're trying to make better money and quit your slave job, get to 50,000. The average YouTube channel with 50,000 subs that's monetized makes $60,000 a year, but not if you're in the truth game. Then you're looking more at 15,000 a year. So anyway, we'll leave it there for now. And thanks to everyone who hits the like and the share and leaves a comment. Thank you to everyone who subscribes. And until next time.